Hello, Internet. Having the microphone on. Having the microphone on at a decent volume is probably a good idea. Uh, my name is Matt in the Hat, and we are playing Eolas today here with Diemnyx. Eolas is a original setting that Diemnyx is building, that he is writing, that he is developing from nothing to as much as we can. He has taken inspiration from all manner of very interesting other settings. Uh, Elder Scrolls settings, Arcanum, uh, Dragon Age, you name it, Lord of the Rings, whatever. And he's taken inspiration from these things, siphoned them down, is cherry picked some ideas and inspirations, and changed them, and yeah, we are exploring that world with him, and we are building that world with him today, as well as playing characters in that world. Last time, on session 0, we made some characters. Diemnyx made a technically in Pathfinder Minotaur barbarian, but we've put him without horns for now because he's more about the earth and stone than these other themes in the world. And he also made Thurball, a catfolk. And Lady Rochelle, good to see you. And you definitely helped, and we definitely appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Um, and yeah, so he has this catfolk rogue. So Peter is the technically Minotaur or Oriad blacksmith helper, and Thurball is catfolk rogue, and I made Skewer a half hobgoblin, half elven abomination of of a bloodline, who is a fighter with a spear, one-handed spear, and Marigold, who is an old 77-year-old human woman who doesn't really have anything special about her other than she can cook a good meal and deliver babies. But the powers that be, uh, who she doesn't actually know exactly who this is, what's going on, but we have the Queen of the Fairies, Mab, who is influencing Marigold and has sent her a raven helper to guide her, lead her to a spirit guide so that she might better understand the old ways. Hi, Diamnex. How are you? This is your world.
It helps if I hit unmute.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, welcome in. I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to bring my people in and introduce the stuff you just did to them now that I got my stuff all up and running. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in to Eolas. It is a setting that we are working on developing where I invited Mr. Matt in the Hat to join us. And we are developing this lovely setting with inspiration from many of our favorites. Mr. Matt in the Hat is playing old lady Marigold, who is the village midwife taking care of all the babies. For some reason, a patron decided she needs to go on an adventure. We'll see who that is and why that is. But there is rumors that Mab, the Queen of the Fairies, is something nefarious going on and encouraging her to adventure into the world, perhaps. So we shall see. He also has a interesting character who is a hobgoblin elf How
this
this union
happened.
happened is a story
Yeah,
for another time.
absolutely.
That being said, Skewer is a strong warrior, willing to pierce the hides of all his foes and bring justice to the land, and some silver for his pocket or his mother. We're not sure, but we'll see. I, on the other hand, am playing Peter Stone. He's a big man who's gentle soul and wishes to help folks. He's very large and very, very hard, but kind. So, think of a friendly stone giant. That is Peter. Peter Stone. And I am going to be playing also a Thurbold. If I can get his accent right with all the cases of today. Thurbold is Kachik. He knows many things. He like to play the cards. You have to play the cards. The cards are fun. So, will you play with Thurbold? He like to play the game. Lady, if it can, Angel, if we can get it to pay, I absolutely will do that. So if you have any links or connections, let me know. Um, but thank you. So those are the characters we're playing as. And this setting, we are taking a lot of inspiration from many settings. I've shared with Matt my nefarious ideas of all sorts of chaos. But it's fun, and that's what we're here for. And instead of developing it myself and just being like, hey, this is what we're doing, I was like, why don't we have you join me on this crazy adventure since you're quite skilled and talented at this? And here we are. He accepted, and now we're ready to have chaos and fun.
Indeed.
So, I believe we started off with all of us arriving at a unforetold location where a makeshift village is essentially erected as many villages gather for a meeting, transactions, dealings. What is it that Skewer and Marigold are doing here? What led them here? And
Yeah.
what is it they pick up for sights, sounds, smells at this place?
So, quick sec.
Mm-hmm.
A because we need a journal, don't we? Journal. Redo this one journal so that I can keep our notes here organized because organization is good.
Yes, I did put the MOOCs enhanced journals as well, so that should allow us to have a little bit better. And I installed a good font for that.
And, all right. Yes. So we are at a meeting place, a temporary village has been set up and we said five, didn't we? Five nearby allied
Uh, we said at
conjoined
least five. We hadn't got, I don't think we settled
least
on that being a hard, fast number,
five
but at least five.
uh, uh, established villages. So, this meeting place, I think, would probably be. Hello, hello, hello. DG Angel, good to see you. It has been a while. Thank you for coming along. Thank you for having both of our tabs up. I hope you're doing
Mm-hmm.
well. Let us know how you are and what's going on in your life. We're going to be going along with our story here, but more than happy to have
What she
you.
said earlier, she's taking care of her son and doing laundry.
Oh, there you
Important
go.
life things.
Yep, life things. Yeah, I think that this would be at a central location where There is a hillock or some sort of hilltop where we have some view of the local area. What do you think about that?
Ooh, I have this thought. You've played Witcher or not?
I have played Witcher.
In Witcher 3, particularly, there's one spot where they have this large hill and it has this massive tree that's a really old tree. And it actually has a shrine next to it. I'm thinking that would be perfect for this sort of setting where like the elders of the different towns meet up underneath this giant old ancient oak tree. So it provides them shelter and shade to mediate and do the dealings. And then down around that hillock and around the area, all the other places set up and do trading and working out and everything like that. How's that sound?
Sounds great with me. Tenants and trading and get communicating. Yeah, I like it. Sounds good. So that's the scene that we have. We have this quite large hill that is overlooking some of the land, and on top of the hill, amongst other things, there is a massive old ancient tree. And nearby this massive ancient tree is a shrine where the uh, meeting place of the elders has been established. And, um, yeah, that is where the our action. And in response to your other questions, Skewer is from Briarbridge. He This is a small town amongst or village amongst all of the different villages. Briarbridge is a walled town, and Briarbridge is where a lot of the training for military minded folk and military bodies for the nearby towns is facilitated. This is like a barracks. Got a barracks there. They've got like some archery yards. They've got all sorts of different places where folk come to train with sword and bow and shield, all manner of martial uh, talents. What do you think about that?
Sounds great.
Old village with barracks.
Maybe they deal with more monstrous or fiendish or some sort of creature invasions than some of the others, so that's part of why they tend to be more militant focused.
So perhaps this is one of the villages that is kind of it's more inland than some of the others, and it is the last village before you enter the wilderness kind of area or something like that.
The Darkwoods just sounds
Darkwoods?
like
Yeah.
wilderness and foreboding and
Last village for the Darkwoods. Yes.
like you
Like
think of
it.
a ancient dark Feywood sort of thing, right? Like you take some of that from like the Albion theme, right? Just beyond civilization is this ancient dark forest, and then the lines between our world and the Fey world kind of bleed into each other a little bit, and so it's this dark, you know, deep, large forest,
Like it.
which I think also fits with Skewer's the other background stuff we've talked about.
Alright, so.
Leaves some to be discovered.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. Um, and Skewer has come with his some of his fellow villagers. He is He has recently finished his training with the Briarbridge Patrol, and he is happy to continue doing that. But we he decided that it would be a good idea to volunteer to help guard the caravans of various villages to make their way to this meeting place. So he has traveled uh, to one of the nearby villages, and he's uh, basically helped them pack all of their gear onto their caravans and accompany
Can I
them.
make a suggestion?
Sure.
What if he went to Peter's home? Because
Oh.
that's where the military gear is, and they wanted to make sure that the metallurgy, the equipment, made it to their townsfolk to trade. That would make sense that they'd be interested in making sure their gear gets there.
Sounds fine to me. Do you have a name for Peter's village?
Let's see here. I was debating between a few. I was actually looking at Thurbolds because I thought that I'd go that route first, and then surprise, surprise, we changed things up. Let me look at some names here. If you have any suggestions, chat, you're welcome to make suggestions on any of this stuff.
Not Lob. Apparently not Lob.
Notlob? Where does Notlob come from, and what makes you say that?
Well, it's Bolton backwards. Maybe that she's stitching us up to have regards from the Boltons. No, no, it's a Monty Python reference. I was wrong.
Hey, welcome in, King. The king is here. Long live the king. Andir. I like that.
Ender?
Andir. Andyr. Andir's almost a Romanesque style village.
Okay.
And it has a bit of that Romanesque style. They're known for their stone and metallurgy.
Okay. Cool. So Briarbridge is this walled village that's kind of right at the edge of the Darkwoods. It is sort of scrappy, because it's made up of some of the Darkwoods itself. So it's sort of it's got dark tones, dark wooden tones to it, and it has, I guess, an aura of military mindedness, as well as just maybe a palpable aura of almost fear because of or of the unknown, perhaps a mystery to it. Whereas Ander is a Romanesque
Mhm.
style village where there's stone and metallurgy performed.
Yes.
Love it. Right.
Do you want to tell us about Marigold? Or do you want to continue on with Skewer? Getting
Well,
here.
yeah, so we were just talking about how he's gone to Andir. Let me
Mhm.
that note to where the military gear is, where the metallurgy is. He's assisted them, guarding the caravans.
For visuals, I think it'd be cool if we're late bronze, early Iron Age. What do you think?
Yep. Let me put that in the world space.
So kind of Romanesque for iron, or a lot of Grecian kind of in Babylonian kind of style
Late Bronze Age.
to equipment. Of course, furs and stuff for the Norsemen or Germanic tribes.
Okay. Sounds
Not
good
that
to
we
me.
have those countries, but I use those so that people understand what we're talking about.
Yeah. All right. Um, metallurgy. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Don't be sorry about that or anything else. You know, you are who you are. You don't need to apologize for who you are. Um, and you.
Exactly.
All right. So yeah, I think
King
that
Jay said he approves of the idea and loves it.
excellent. That's probably enough for. Did you have any other questions surrounding? Because you asked a few, and can't remember exactly what the
I
questions
think you
were.
answered him. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, being that we're touching on, we've mentioned Peter. What is he doing in relation to
Peter's
getting
helping
ready?
out his master. He's packing carts. Little cattle not know how to pull carts very well, so Peter debate if he should carry carts. Or maybe just put stuff in big bag and carry. It's these poor little people don't have the ability to carry as well. And Peter's here to make sure things go well. He want to help.
Huh.
Repair gear, make gear, carry gear, whatever needs to be done. I mean, last week pulled plow. Who knows what needs to be done? Just here to help.
Perfect. All right. So that is going on. You asked a question about. Marigold is a 77-year-old human woman getting late in life. Um, she is um, especially on the travel between her village and the temporary one. I haven't come up with a name for it yet. But we can do
I
that.
don't think the temporary one will have a name, but hers would. I think the
Yeah.
temporary one is just like, I don't know, we can call it the moot or something for now.
You know what? I love the town name of Juniper, so I'm gonna put that.
Nice, that fits well. The herbal theme and everything. I like that.
So we're gonna call her village Juniper. Um, Marigold's village, and Juniper, I think, is probably a village that there is a lot of local farmland, agriculture style things. We're talking about berry bushes. We're talking about fertile land,
The bread basket.
breadbasket of this area, which means it is probably the southernmost village or one of the most southernmost villages
Yeah.
of this world space.
I think
Well,
Thuribold's might be further south because I have an idea for his. I was going to see what you think.
okay.
But yes, hers is definitely southern more than Peters or Skewers. Skewers is right on the forest. I think Peters may be in like the foothills or the mountains.
Okay.
I haven't decided east or west, because that fits the whole, access to stone and metal, right?
Yeah, so I'm gonna just make
And then,
some jots while we're talking to sort of facilitate
yep,
this. Do you think
absolutely.
Briarbridge is very north, and that this Darkwood is more north than that? Is that what you're thinking?
It, I guess it could be east or west. I didn't think about that. No, you're right. Because we talked about the other guys being north. What do you think? Does it sound better to have the dark forest to the east or the dark forest to the west? Because I think that makes more sense, like you're saying.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do some
I was
jotting.
thinking north, but now that you mention it, I kind of think it makes more sense to go the other way
Yeah, I think
because we talked about
west,
the
personally.
fifth frost. Marigold, the wicked witch of the west.
She is not wicked at all. Uh,
No, quite the contrary. She's very much the opposite of wicked.
Brybridge can be over here. We're gonna put Juniper to the south somewhere, and we're gonna have Thurbold's further south, down this way.
So for Thurbolds, I'm thinking either like more of a Mesopotamian kind of culture or Egyptian culture,
Oh,
kind of the more artistic and, flamboyant group. We bring, lovely things from our homeland for people to buy. We bring the cushions and the carts and maybe the skooma.
okay. Carts. So it's more luxurious.
I think that fits him. I think that makes sense for him. You know what I mean?
Do we think then that Thurbold's village might be on a bay to trade with foreign powers? If
Sure. That
if
sounds good.
if they
That
are,
would make sense.
yep, put them sort of
They're
on.
kind of like the gateway to the wherever, right? It's like the gateway to the west or the gateway to the east was one of the things they said about parts of the Middle East, right? Because that's how you got to the Silk Road and got fancy, elegant things from India and China, right? So it's not necessarily the gateway to the east like they were, but it's the access point to foreign trade. And a lot of trade goes through there, which is why it's more elegant and prestigious.
Yeah, because I think, and we can obviously change this, and Diemnyx will
Mhm.
confirm or change or whatever else because it's his world in the.
None of it exists. We're all having fun.
But I think, given our world space ideas, perhaps much of the rest of the world is more temperate than where we are. Um, because I think we wanted a cooler climate in general. Doesn't mean it's like
Mhm.
ice or anything, but perhaps to the
Yeah.
very, very north, we might have some ice caps. What do we want Thurbol's village to be named? Mesopotamian, Egyptian, coastal.
Yeah. So I was thinking Naquar.
I like
From
it.
Naquar, we have the wonderful cushions there. You can pad your bottom, but you can't do in here with these stones. It's very nice in Naquar. You should come visit. We could play cards.
Okay. Naquar. How do you want to pronounce that? How do
Yeah.
you want to? Yep.
Yep, just that way. Naqar, because it's simple and it's clear. It's perfect.
Okay.
Naquar. We have lovely things in the car. I like to have the lovely silks and beautiful clothes and all the lovely things to eat and drink there. And the spices, the spices. We love to play with the cards and enjoy our spiced foods. It's just so much fun. You should visit.
Good. All right. So
Exactly, King J. Lose all the money playing cards with Thurball. Mm, better build for two, make watch for town, but prefers plays cards and gets money from guards he's forced to watch with.
all right. So Briarbridge, Andir. So Andir, we want this to be on mountains, right?
And the other, yes, I think hills or mountains make sense,
And do you want that to be?
unless we're going to go with the Germanic black sands. But I think that then doesn't provide as much stone. So I thought mountains made more sense.
Do you want that to be inland or shore adjacent?
I was debating. That's actually one thing I was going to see what your thoughts were on that.
At this stage, I'm thinking Briarbridge is on the western edge and that the forest sort of goes northwest from Briarbridge, this Darkwood.
Sure.
I think that Ander, there might be some mountains. How would we?
The mountain range could also be a gateway to the north to where the other town is that we talked about.
We could have the mountains sort of coming, going
What makes
from middle to
geologically is the other thing I'm trying to think.
yeah, like well, yeah, we don't have to worry too much about geology,
No.
but having some sort of I think having so the edge of the mountains I think would be on the shore. But his settlement doesn't have to be.
Oh yeah. No. The mountain range goes a long ways, makes sense, right? It's just his is in one part of the mountains that then extend to the shores. That makes sense.
Okay, so what obviously things are gonna change, alright? And I'm gonna just do
Mm-hmm.
this
It's all
in
good.
slightly higher fidelity here. But I just want to show what I've kind of got. So,
And thank you. I like being able to work the speculation with you and stuff and be like, what makes sense? And we both feed into it.
okay. Uh, and then I'm going to have.
Yep. Exactly right, King J. That's part of why I asked him if he'd be willing to. Because I thought it could be some fun, and I was like, he would be the right one to help.
I appreciate that. It's a vote of great
And yeah, we're still working on
confidence.
the map.
Darkwood.
Well, I know how you think. You're creative and logical and everything, and so it's
Andir.
good.
Alright, so this is what I'm thinking at the moment. You might not be able to see this very well.
Let me get over to that screen. Hold on, because that'll make it easier to see than here. Okay. Yeah. Can you tell me what the different parts are? Because I can kind of see it fuzzy, but the
Yeah.
camera is not making it super clear.
We've got
But
mountains
yeah, I see.
up in the north and east. Obviously, we can
Yeah.
adjust what that is. We've got the Darkwood over in the west and Briarbridge underneath, and here somewhere in the mountains. We've got whatever we're going to
Okay.
call the moot place. We've got Juniper
Yep.
down here and Nakar on the bay. So this is going to be a bay
Yeah.
and water. Yeah.
Yeah, that works. I like that.
Cool. All right. So
Ooh, I think a river goes down from the mountains through Juniper to the sea where the bay is.
that is going to be
Because that would make
interesting.
sense too, because you'd have waterways are very common where settlements would go because you need access to water and they allow you to transport stuff.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to
Even if
draw.
you can't have a boat, it doesn't mean it's like a 90-foot river like we had in Kingmaker the other night, right? But some body of water.
You're going to have it go all the way to Juniper. I think what we need is a break in the waterway somewhere. Uh,
A few of them may feed in. A few rivers may feed into a lake. That juniper could be on a lake, and then that feeds out too.
I like a lake.
Because juniper on a lake sounds good, and we could have it be kind of like a fey lake, maybe, right? Not actually necessarily, but it's kind of like fits into the whole Arthurian kind of style, um, mystical lake, right?
Yep.
Which fits for the whole. That's where juniper's from, and people there have been touched. Is it the fey? Is it something else? Questions, which we love questions.
Do love
Questions are
question.
really good for settings.
Okay. Let's get this.
Mhm.
Normally,
Take your time.
rivers do not actually split, but
No, they join.
that's okay.
That's why I said they join into the lake and then come out as one.
Okay, so maybe we've got another river that's coming down this way. Hmm. We'll work that out a little bit closer, but for now, I'm gonna have river basically coming all the way down. There'll be a
No,
lake of some
that is
description.
interesting. Sorry, I was trying to look at your thing. Your camera is actually clearer for me on OBS than it is for NVIDIA.
Of course, of course.
So that's why it's like interesting because I was like, wait a minute, I can see you more clearly on there. That does not make sense, but whatever.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah, that's
that
good.
some of this area is going to be hilly, but yeah, obviously all of this we can fix up, but this gives us a general gist
Oh yeah,
of what we're looking at.
we
So,
got to have a starting point.
so we've
So yeah,
talked about where we are a little bit. There's this 77-year-old woman who is later in her life. She's come with the rest of the caravans from Juniper. Um, she has been told in no uncertain terms by the Raven, by Visa, get off your ass, old woman. Your life's not finished yet. Got something else for you. He's like, all right, well, I'll go along. And so she's come with a list of trade things that she would like for Juniper. And obviously, Juniper is coming with lots and lots of food for everybody else.
and they buy farm gear from Peter, and they probably get some hides and stuff from Skewer's folk, who then also get paid a dues for keeping the beasts at bay and the dark wood. And then, of course, Thurbold's folks come with lots of pretty things to trade. I like that.
We've got Briarbridge, Ander, Juniper, and Nakar. Do we want to name anywhere else? Because what we do need to name, and we haven't gotten here in the story just yet, but I'm going to allude to this. There's going to be an issue in a
Yeah,
village
what
that
is. Hmm.
none of us come from, who provide. We said that they were going to provide um, ivory, furs, but maybe we can change what they're providing.
Yeah, those day initial thought, which still works great. I do like that it's kind of the colder area because that gives us that risk of we have to have cold gear and we got to be careful about that.
I think the other
which
side
is
of the
a easier
mountains,
low level.
like maybe up, sorry, my camera's
Yeah, that
frozen, up here
works. Yeah,
somewhere. The other side of the mountains.
yeah, I like that.
Okay, so we'll have a village up here. It is a northern cooler village. So
What do you like better, Cowick, Milwold, Windon? If any of them are like, that one sounds good, let me know. Just looking up some random names. Belize.
I like maybe not Icelandic, but maybe like
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for some inspiration right now.
so Icelandic, Nordic,
Provo.
Sweden, Switzerland.
Soveza. What about Soveza?
Sounds great. Solveza. Could you spell that for me?
Soveza.
Svetza.
Soveza. It's the cold northern lands where people are hard. They
Yes,
provide
somewhere
good
up.
warm things.
Okay, so let me put this in that world space here. So ah gateway to the got Solvesa. The cold.
So to break it down for you a little bit, King J, I got all these ideas bouncing around my head. I've been wanting to something of an actual setting that I can use and maybe others can use, but I, I was like, there's a lot that needs to be done. I consider doing like a solo play to kind of develop some of the world, but then I was like, Matt's brilliant. Matt likes playing. Matt is intelligent and a good cooperative individual. Let's see if he's interested. So we are creating this setting out of my twisted and demented mind, you could say, or the chaos juices therein that flow and bubble around. Um, and so it is a collaborative creation, and we'll be playing through the world to help develop and create it. Just to reiterate, so everyone who's watching knows, understands why things sometimes are going a little bit slower than in other TTRPGs at times. It's because we are creating some of this on the fly, collaboratively developing this world and setting.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna have some forest over here. We're gonna have some marsh down there. Ender is mountainous. Sylvessa, do we think that further north is still in the mountains? Do we think it comes down? What do we think?
I think for this, I think stealing a little bit from Faerun actually works well. So in the Faerun map, they have a mountain range that is called the Spine of the World. And just north of that is just barren, frosty wastes. Basically, the ice caps of the world. I think that fits here. That doesn't mean there's no water, because there would still be some water on the edges of the land at certain times of year, right? So you think Alaska and stuff like that, where some parts are very cold, other parts are frozen year round, but that's all kind of the north of the mountains kind of region, I think.
The
That
mountains
region that you would
act
then.
as a filter for the environment. So the heat sort
Yeah.
of stops at the mountain. which makes
So if you
sense.
go
This
directly north
happens.
of the mountains, it's more harsh and cold. Just to the side of the mountains is a little bit warmer because some can get out there, but that cold and warm kind of combine there and can kind of make some crazy storms and, you know, makes things interesting, shall we say.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. All right. Cool. Like it. Cool. All right. Great. When we have some sort of lay of the land, we have our 5 at the moment villages. We can all add to this if we like. Sovetsa,
Yeah.
the people of
These are
Sovetsa,
the 5 applicable for the story right now.
yeah, have not shown up to the moot. That is the
Yes.
situation. And while we enjoy world building, we're here to tell a story. And so, yeah, the people of Svetsa, the representatives.
So I think what would make sense is probably a day or two into it. They haven't showed up and the elders call everyone, right?
Yeah, towards the end of the
And
second day.
yeah. Sylvester has not shown up. We require to send a party to investigate. We will be taking names for volunteer, or we will do a casting of the lots to determine who will go.
Yeah.
Volunteers.
So, Skewer would absolutely be volunteering to go and check
I,
out what's in Svetsa, what's going on. Um, and I would say that he might have trained with someone from there either recently or not so
I like that idea. You with someone who came for training and you're wondering what happened to him. Male or female? So is it like a battle buddy or is it a potential romantic interest for Skewer?
I don't know whether we want to go a romantic way. When I made Skewer the first time before Baldur's Gate, he absolutely didn't have any romantic interests, and then romantic interests were thrust my direction by certain people in Baldur's Gate.
Won't even get into that. We'll drop it right there. I'm just asking because I wasn't sure. So a brother.
Probably a battle brother, yes.
Okay. So his brother's there. So yeah, he like tell me what you think about this. I think this is kind of funny
Yeah.
and makes a good story. So he hears this and jumps up. He's like, I'll go. And in doing so, accidentally with his spear, hits Peter. And Peter's like, huh? Okay, that's 2. Anyone else? You, little one, you poked me. What is going on? I was
uh,
busy.
startles and accidentally
Just because it's
volunteers.
funny story. I think that's just great for the story, right?
Um, it were it it were me stick here. Sorry, big one.
Oh, what they say 2 for? I don't know what was said. I was busy with food.
Well, you see, um, you know of Sylvester.
Yes, they have good seal meat. I like eating baby seal.
Well, if you cast your eyes round, you might find that there's no one from there, and they haven't shown
No,
yet.
they're not here. It's sad.
And so they wanted to have volunteers to go, and I got a buddy over
Oh,
there that I thought I better go and check on. So I jumped up, and when I jumped up, my spear accidentally hit the ground and then rebounded on your leg. And you startled, and now they think that you want to go.
oh. Okay. Do you need help going?
I'm sure we'll take whatever we can.
Okay, I'll help. I like helping.
Oh, you're a good sword.
It feels good when you help.
He's probably gonna get cold, though.
I don't know much about cold. I know lots about heat. The magma is very warm.
Skewer will show him over to one of the stalls that has different furs and stuff, and show him
Do you have anything bigger?
what the differences are between them. He would point specifically at ones that have been treated with seal oils for
Mhm.
keeping the wet off.
Indeed. So while they're working on getting cold weather gear, the elders are trying to find additional. We should at least probably have four. Let's cast lots. Everyone put your names in. If you're eligible to go,
So a bunch of people put their names in.
Thurbold reluctantly comes up. I do not want to go to this place. I do not like the cold. I prefer the oranges and the lovely, spice. I don't know to go. Anything fluttery happen?
Well, not that anyone sees.
Okay.
Not until they draw the lots.
All right. We now have the lots. I will be taking them here and I will draw the lots. Goes over to the side, reaches in the bowl, draws a name out. This is Thurbold.
Oh.
Oh, man, I don't want to go. I do not like this. Why do I get picked? I do not like it. Can I gamble and trade with you? No? No, I mean, come on. I just goes.
Several men who are
The final.
keen several men who are keen to go are like, yeah, sure, we'll have a game tonight, which he's bound to lose.
Right. And then he pulls out the next one. That was not the one I had. Okay, I read this one. Uh, Marigold.
There's silence for a minute.
Marigold?
What?
Is this your name? Is this you? I don't know how your name got in bowl. Did you put it there?
I'm 77, dearie. I didn't put my name
Look,
in there.
I know you're one of the only ones who's older than me. That's why I was wondering why it was there.
Are you sure? Are your eyes going? Do I need to check them?
Indeed.
He reads her name. And without speaking, she just like turns her head and looks over to a nearby tent, and there is a black feathered raven who's just alighted down onto the tent, and it just looks in her direction, and then just goes, ah, ah.
Oh.
Marigold sighs, and she's like, By law, dearie, as you well know, they
I,
have been drawn, and we have to abide by what the spirits say.
I know. I'm sorry. I did not think your name would be in there.
I guess I'll have to reinforce my walker. she looks she looks over this steel or like metal device that she uses to like help her to move along the ground.
Oh man, that's great. So, hope you are all enjoying the story so far. This is where we thought would be a good way to start things off, and now we're all on a same path with the characters towards developing some info in this world. They now have all been drawn, selected, and chosen to head north to Silvesa to find out what has happened, why they are missing, why they are tardy.
The
And so
elders of each of the tribes present present 20 silver pieces each, and to these fellow adventurers, volunteers, volunteers, um, and uh, let them know that goods here will be discounted in addition to those silver pieces for the purposes of making sure that they're well equipped for the journey north.
indeed. So we have already in preparation purchased our gear
Yes.
instead of making you all sit through that. One thing I did think of, Matt,
Mm-hmm.
based on what we talked about for Sovesa, um, we did miss one thing, I believe.
Okay.
Cold weather gear.
Well, I've got cold weather gear. I don't know
I
about you.
forgot to put that on my characters. So I am going to put that on because we meant to do it and I got busy with some other part to it. So I am adding that now
So you'll see
because
here
I meant to. We absolutely need it.
clothing cold weather and for skewer clothing cold weather.
So they now have their cold weather gear. I just realized I forgot that. So they have cold weather gear, they have adventurers pack, they have the weapons they need, and they are ready to set off in the morning of the third day.
And just so that those at home are aware, we decided as players that we would pool the 15 gold per character into a big pile of 60 gold, four characters of 15 gold, make a pile of 60 gold, because some of our characters were going to use less gold, and some of our characters were going to use more. And so we decided to pile it all into a big pile and then withdraw from that rather than have 15 gold per character. And that's how we
We
came upon
requested
our
GM
fund.
approval, even.
We did of ourselves. And then we said, because we were a little bit over budget, we said that the local villagers would put in a little bit of their own coin to help fund the trek north,
Expedition.
which makes
Mhm.
sense. And so
We
that's
were at like 60 and change. So it
yeah,
was just slightly over.
so sort of 65 by the time you've got your cold weather gear as well, so somewhere
Mm,
around there. So
I think that's even 65, but yeah, I hear what you mean.
not quite, but
Yeah,
yeah,
because it's only 8 silver a piece for the cold weather. So it'd be like
63.
61 or
Yeah,
62 at most.
somewhere around there. So we decided that they would each put in some silver, which makes sense. All right, and that leaves us with what we have. This is all that we
Mhm.
have for the moment, but we will, in true Pathfinder 2 style, be gaining loot, gaining equipment as we travel north. Um, and so our characters join together.
Pathfinder is very much like what is it? Riddick style, where they had the whole uh, unmongers that were the whole you kill it, you keep it sort of stuff. Like a lot of TTRPGs are that way. You kill it, you keep the gear.
All right, and so Visa will fly overhead, keeping to the cover of trees mostly, not soaring through empty skies without being asked. Mostly keeping to nearby, watching in preparation for what might come. Skewer is towards the front of the group, I think, with his spear in hand. And what you notice about this is because he has a uncommon weapon. Maybe not all of the characters be familiar with what they're seeing in his hand, um, because he is of an interesting lineage, a hobgoblin elven lineage, and he has with him what is called a breaching pike. This is forged with a heavy metal wedge as a spearhead, and breaching pikes are used by hobgoblin infantry um, in their wars. Now, hobgoblin fighters have been less and less common over the years, as their numbers have been decreasing. And so this one has been passed along to Skewer by someone in his lineage, by his father. Perhaps those around may not have seen them. Peter, I am assuming, would have seen them before, and maybe he's worked on one or two from
Mm-hmm.
time to
It makes
time, but it
sense.
wouldn't be very often. He might have made one maybe twice or three
I
times in
helped
his
fix
life.
one. It needed to be fixed and it was brought for repair. So I fixed it up nice. Interesting device, no?
Skewer will mention that it's fashioned in a way that the balance is unique. Normally, with longer hafted weapons, the balance is such that you tend to need two hands to wield them effectively. But with these, the way that they're balanced, the way that they're fashioned, you can do it with one.
Indeed.
All right. These adventurers are journeying together. Skewer is taking the lead, albeit not completely
Welcome in,
alone.
Viking Silver Wolf.
Hello,
Mm-hmm.
hello. See you. As always, Silver.
Thuribold's probably taking up the rear
Mm-hmm.
intentionally, like keeping an eye out because he's worried, but also taking up the rear because he really doesn't want to.
He doesn't want to be here. It's just like, I could be.
I could be having cards with friends and enjoying the spiced food. This is not where I wanted to go with the wares. It's not very
Marigold
nice.
would be somewhere in the middle of the group. She's trying not to slow us
Nope.
down.
Dear Marigold, do you need help? I can help you if you would like.
So, as a point of narrative here, DM, do you think that these folk who have banded together in this fashion are traveling north are doing so on foot? I don't assume that these villages are hugely far away from each other because that's not how many.
They would probably be at most a couple days travel. So it wouldn't be that far without some sort of stop, typically. Um, I hadn't really thought of them taking horses
Mhm.
or mounts.
Maybe there's a pack
So I
horse,
think
just
pack
one.
horse I could see. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna
Because the
say,
early horse cavalry was just coming about in that kind of time period. Um, like the Roman cavalry was kind of like the first big kind of development towards that, or it was more just horsemen or even more so chariots.
mhm. Yeah, so maybe for some of the day, um, I don't know. This is an interesting one. So I don't know how to like envision this because she is 77. She isn't so frail that she can't walk, but the skin of her movement is via this walker, which I think
Is it
is.
a walker or a walking stick?
What do we think? Maybe it makes more sense
Maybe
to
a
just
walking
be a
stick would
stick.
work better because that would slow her down a little bit. Where a walker is, she can't really move.
Okay. Yeah, so she has to lean on
So
a
I think a
stick.
walking stick works better.
All right. Sounds good. So she has this stick, this cane,
And it gives you
this.
that whole wise woman kind of thing where the bird can like land on her stick. I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
And my
Yes.
Bertie does too.
Yeah, and there's probably all manner of like runes and things on twine and stuff wrapped around this stick.
Yeah.
Probably ivory, I imagine.
Some ivory, yeah, definitely carved ivory pieces with runes etched into them. Um, maybe some charms and stuff that is used for her uh, midwifery stuff.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, so she's walking along with that. She is keeping pace, but she has to stop every couple of hours, maybe 90 minutes to 2 hours, and have a breather.
Mm-hmm.
Not for very long, it doesn't completely slow us down, but in her old age, she can't just walk all day.
Marigold, if it would be easier, I can carry you. I do not mind. If you need any help, let me know. I'm here to help.
Oh, I'll do it for now, dearie, but thank you for your offer. This old lady isn't done yet.
Oh, I know you're not done. I just offered to help. I like to help. It makes your heart feel good when you help.
If we have to do some climbing, I'll probably have to rely on your strong arms.
I have not seen much climbing since I left mountains. Everywhere else seemed to be too small for much climbing for me. So, for those wondering, the bird visa is it small or tiny? I think small.
Let me check.
Tiny.
Yes, tiny.
And the other characters are medium, which is the standard human size. Peter is a bit large. He is actually large category. He is a large figure,
Yes, I
which is
mean,
why he takes up extra
Skewer
space.
Skewer is tall, but he's nowhere
Well,
near
Skewer
as
is big,
large as
but
Peter.
he's not. Yeah, yeah. No, Skewer is a good size individual, but Peter's just oversized. He's the gentle giant.
All right, and so we're traveling north, and we journey We said that it was coming towards the end of the day. I think that these characters would have rested, and made sure that
Yep.
they were ready to go by, uh, shortly after dawn on the next day. What we've said that winter is coming, Diemnyx, but how far away do we think it is? Just for narrative purposes. We
I
think
think
it's a
it's probably a
month,
few months away because
couple of
you'd want
months.
to have everything settled in time, right? So it would be after the harvest, before frost.
All right, so that's a good. We are after the harvest, but before a frost. Excellent. Um, Welcome in, Cruel Fang. Good to see you. Yes, so we are traveling
Rule
north,
thing.
and so
Yes.
obviously this map is not out of like we when we don't have measurements going on here. But we're
Not
traveling
yet.
effectively from Juniper. We're going north. Do we think we're gonna follow the river north? Do we think we're gonna skirt to the other side of the mountains? I think following the river would make sense.
Sure. We can do that. That makes sense. It'll help you not get lost if we know that it gets us closer to their location.
Yeah, at least until we start to see the mountains, and then we can start to skirt further west, uh, to
Yeah.
to to round them out. So we're following the river, which means that gives us a nice way to punctuate some of our maps because we're gonna possibly have a river nearby some of our encounter zones. We're gonna be going
Mhm.
through. So at the moment, coming off this hill, there are other hills nearby. We're in a relatively hilly terrain, and we're traveling north towards some plains. I think. Would you think that there is a type of terrain outside of prairie that you would like to see as we are traveling northward towards the tundra?
I think it would just be plains and forests, right? Like
Plains,
basic forest, not
forest.
like the dark woods, ancient, large trees, but smaller forests that you can kind of find in more northern terrain.
Okay,
Because a lot of
so
times you don't have just big, barren, open grasslands endlessly.
no,
They're grasslands, forest, grasslands, forest, grasslands, forest,
okay.
kind of intermingled.
So I have a feeling how this is gonna go. We're gonna have these hills that are gonna start to even out. We're gonna have plains and then forest, plains, forest, so on, so forth.
Hmm.
To um, that's good. So we've got hilly area into plains at this stage. Um, how do
Actually, I
we?
think like the Grecian, or not the Grecian, like the Germanic, like rolling hills and trees works, or like Ireland sort of thing. I think that fits kind of what we're thinking, right?
Yeah, sort of
Green hills and forests. Yeah.
Switzerland. Yeah.
Switzerland. Yeah, that works too. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Cool. So that's the terrain that we're on, and we're traveling north. Um, what were your thoughts as to? Obviously, we don't need. We can do banter and things like that on our
Oh,
trek,
yeah.
and that's fine. But we also want narrative. We also want action. We also want stuff. So how 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 do we want to do this? Do we want to have random rolls where we're
How do
potentially
you
having
usually run it?
things?
You've run your own setting more, so I'm curious how you usually run that. How do you recommend it?
Um, I for I've always struggled with overland travel. Okay, just in general, because it's one of
Okay.
those like I think it's hard. When you're running an in-person game, which I do primarily, you want to get to the meat of the story fairly quickly. And so what I've tended to do is I've tended to have some of the hooks and some of the narrative happen along our travel, and that there might be maybe
Mhm.
one or two random events, but they're always showing something to do with the ongoing story. Like, so they're not just completely random. They're not just like five wolves come out. It's like there's something to show here, is how I've done it. So I've done it curated. I've thought about maybe there can be a random map. And instead of having a roll table up to date, what I've done is I've given
Yep.
myself a list of possible things that I would like to potentially show along the way. Again, it might be just a short list, 6 to 10 things. And then I'll roll on that and go, well, these are some of the things. Or I'll just decide, right, what I want to show, and I'll show that along the way. So that's how I've done it. It's probably not helpful, but that's how I've done it.
Nope, it is. So I just went ahead and rolled, and that's what the roll was. Evening while we set up camp, I think would be when your encounter you're talking about with bandits or something happens.
Okay.
And then that evening, probably it starts raining. Cold rain, warning of the winter coming.
All right. So that's what our narrative is going to be. So one night, one evening, as camp is being set up. Do you want to start on an area then where this is
I'm working
happening
on it right now.
while I'm
Yep.
making the actual encounter side of this? You can make the terrain side of this, and then
Yep.
we can
I'm buddy.
take turns in doing. And so we've got some
Yeah.
sort of
I don't know. It's great.
ruffian or bandit.
Those were the tokens I had for before. There we go.
Out. I'm guessing we want this in the moderate area.
Yeah.
Okay. Just copy to, and then it's gonna be so. In this case, we're going to have Scout be called. This is not the full bandit leader, but this is the leader of this group, is the Scout. And then there's going to be 3 disciples. Now, because these are called disciples, so let's use that word to create a narrative, DM. So these are going to be in a cult of some description.
Disciples of the Eternal Frost.
Okay. Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're going to make an encounter here. We're going to be calling this Disciples. And we're making an organization here, folks, of the Eternal
Yep.
Frost.
On the fly.
On the fly. So, let's have a couple of dot points as to what we think the Disciples of the Eternal Frost are. Obviously, there's something that they revere about ice, cold.
Chat?
Anyone have
Anything
any
you guys
cool
like?
ideas? Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it's clear we appreciate and desire their input.
You got
There
any
you
good
go. We are
ideas
now
as
at a
to
campsite with trees.
perfect? And what we're gonna do now that we've got some tree coverage, we're gonna drag some of these bandits behind some of these trees. Perfect. Might just rearrange some of this. Scout is going to be front and center because he's going to be going to the others. They're going to be watching. I might. It's going to be watching there. Nice.
Yep. Get them where you want. See, this is called co-op. We're doing things together, helping each other, and working on it.
Know nothing, but this is really cool and fascinating to listen to. Right. So the Disciples of the Eternal Frost, DM. Anything that we should like? Maybe there's something that they wear that all of them wear. Maybe there's some sort of skin affectation that they all have. What do we want to do to unite this group so that they're visually distinctive? Eternal Frost. Maybe
Ooh. They all have some blackened skin from frostbite.
blackened skin from frostbite. Okay. So what I'm
And they
thinking.
have a whitish crystal, almost like polished, almost semi-translucent quartz amulet or necklace piece that looks like ice. And
Nice.
you're thinking, what?
What about they have a initiation ritual where they have to immerse themselves in frozen waters? Immersion
Yes,
in
that works.
frozen.
They must face the freeze and survive.
Yeah, maybe it's like a minute or
Embrace the
something.
cold. Yeah. That actually is something the barbarians do in Neverwinter Nights 2, Mask of the Betrayer. Basically saying who's the toughest and can survive the longest.
Excellent adventure, by the way. Excellent game, folks. Go check it out. Neverwinter Nights 2. Mask of the Betrayer.
Yes. Actually, did you see that they're all on sale? Like a whole lot of RPGs on Humble. They had that crazy bundle of all the RPGs.
Yeah, did.
They're not all of them, but a ton of them. That was crazy.
All right, so as part of this, folks, we are also gonna be. I just want to also ask you. So what we're going to
Hmm.
be doing, we're going to be doing this for the folks at home. We're going to be doing this for each other. We don't have to do everything now, but I would like a general idea in regards to how many. Doesn't have to be combat encounters, but how many situations our group approximately have to deal with to get to a level. I do 10 situations in mine,
I'm good with that.
and doesn't
I,
have
I
to
I
be
think that
combat
works well. I think,
situations.
yeah, I was gonna say, I think what we can do is ballpark 10 plus or minus based on what sounds appropriate for the story. So if the story seems like it should happen a little sooner, maybe go at 8 if we feel it is kind of called for, or 12 if it feels like it needs to be delayed, and kind of keep it going with the story. But I think about 10 sounds good. I'm good with that.
And what this means, folks at home, is that these situations aren't just one scene. Sometimes there might be two or three scenes where a situation plays out, and sometimes it's just one. So we'll chop and change. Obviously, this is under development. We're working this stuff out as we go. But this gives me a
Yep.
very good idea of what I need to do in relation to loot, as at the moment I am in charge of that. I'm in charge of the loot.
And I appreciate it. You've had more experience with that, and I'm thankful that you're willing to help out and help me learn.
Yes. And so we're going to be doing that as we go. And so what we're going to be doing as far as that is each of these uh, bandits, all four of these, are going to have the stuff that they have on them, which are hand crossbows, scimitars, bolts, and pouches of sand. And I'm going to be adding these amulets to each of these. And we're also going to add probably some silver pieces to each of these. I'm not going to do that right now because I need to just
Ooh,
add that up.
I just had a thought.
Yep.
What if their amulets are worth nothing to most people, but to the town in the north, Slovaks, uh, Slo,
Savetsa. Yes.
Sveza, yes, my brain and tongue today, my tongue is just not bleh. That a person in Soveza, maybe the elder there or the head of the guard or something, that's where you can turn them in and sell them, because it sounds like they're probably dealing with these people.
Okay. Like that. So.
Because then, even if we encounter them and deal with them, to make a profit from them, we still have to go and visit, which gives us an incentive to go and visit the other town, keeping that whole movement going.
Okay.
You know, encouraging narrative movement.
Sounds good. Amulet only worth money in Savetsa. Okay. And there's going to be silver coins, and I'll put in brackets nothing, and then I'll work that out a little bit later because we don't have time right now. And then
Yep, you're good.
the bandit scout here is going to have alchemist fire. He's going to have 3 of those. Short bow, short sword, studded, leather armor, arrows 10, and amulet as above. And silver coin. This allows us to start allowing ourselves to see how the loot might fall in giving out a little bit extra for each thing, and then we can work out a place or an event or a
Yep.
story point that gives us more substantial loot than what these do, but these should give us something. These should tell a story that can draw these characters into a larger situation down the track. That's what we're trying to do. Trying to
Right.
have everything be meaningful to some degree. Show us a little bit about the world and give us some story. You've got ice cream,
Let's see.
Cruel Fan. You lucky.
Oh, he didn't bring any for the rest of us?
Yeah, where's our
Shame
ice
on him.
cream?
Shame on him.
1, 2, 3,
You
4.
know,
So that's
this is awesome.
interesting.
Thank you, Matt, by the way. I do appreciate it.
All right. Well, at the
What's up?
moment, I think one, two. I think I'm going to delete one of these disciples because
It's severe right now.
it's saying severe, which shouldn't, but
Mhm.
doing.
72 XP is what it's saying.
Oh,
You want to delete the closest one, or you have one that you want to pick?
hang on.
Yeah. And I did make the trees overhead tiles, so when you click on the guy, you can see a little easier, and we can see that they're under the tree easier.
I never gets to cookies here. How am I meant to give you cookies?
No, no, no. We can send him cookies. I can create a bunch of cookies and send him cookies. They're just not the kind of cookies he wants. We can do lots of web cookies. Every time he shows up to your channel, he technically is getting a web cookie. So, Cruel Fang, you got the web cookie.
Yeah. Yeah, take that.
Cheat? Not really. You good, Matt?
Yeah, I'll just read.
Okay.
We're going to have a bunch of pop ups here, but
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I need to go through and figure out why it's doing that. Like I said, I'm with some stuff. Should the bandit disciples roll stealth instead of
all of these are going to be rolling
initiative?
stealth.
That's what I was thinking.
All right, so we're now moderate, which means we're down to 2 disciples and a scout. I'm going to adjust that in here.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for all of the pop ups, folks, but finished now. All right, so 2 disciples and a scout. Let's go. So they're rolling stealth for initiative. We don't know that they're there as yet. So we're going to be rolling.
How do we
So you have to begin.
tell us separate? Okay, let's. Yeah.
And then we can just click on.
Here we go. Wisdom modifier. Why are you doing perception? Why not keep?
Fantastic.
Is there a way to quickly tell it to do stealth for all of them instead of perception?
Let
Because I hit
me.
roll initiative button on all of them and it's doing that, or do I have to click them and manually?
Yeah, it looks like you're going to have to do it.
That's fine.
Now, they're around a fire.
So let's do nighttime and add a fire. Where's flickering? Torch. There we go. No. Slow down. Slow down.
Alright, so Skewer is warming his hands by the fire. He's like, really appreciate you helping with the firewood there, Serble. I know you didn't really want to be out here, but did you hear something? And he is going to look around. He doesn't know that something's about to happen, but there's something maybe in the wind. And like, so he's going to spend his first action coming over this way because he doesn't know what's going on, and he's going to seek in this area here.
Like you heard a
Seek
or something, probably.
is a perception roll. So we're going to roll perception. Wow.
Noise.
He's like, guys, I'm not sure, but I think something might be out here. It's not just here, but I swear I heard something. And with his final action, because it is an action to seek, he's walked over here. He's sought, however you want to say that, formed the seek action. With his last action, he is going to draw his breaching pike, which I hadn't had sheathed, but he's going to draw that because you don't just have your weapon out at all times. That's not how we narrate things. He's going to draw his breaching pike as his final action, and he's called out as a free action to everyone else, saying that he's sure he heard something, but he doesn't know where it came from. With that, we have a bandit disciple. I might do this bandit disciple if you. Actually, do you want to
Sure.
do the disciples and I'll do the scout?
Sure. Give me just 1 second. I need to grab one quick thing.
Yeah, sure. We're just going to take a second, guys, to get everything in line. Hope everyone's doing okay out there. Sounds like it's very warm for Cruelfang. Is it hot everywhere else in the world?
Sorry about that.
That's okay. So if you can do the disciples for me, I will do the scout. So you have one now. You see your leader, the scout, who is he's like gesturing towards the camp. You know that your scout leader has bombs that he can throw towards the fire that explode in a radius. You don't have that, but you see him, and you see Skewer, this 6'1", 6'2", abomination of a man who looks kind of, I don't know. He's got blue skin, maybe kind of like a hobgoblin, but not really. He's a bit more agile than that, and he's got a pike that is just, or at least something that looks like a pike that he's pulled out, and he seems to be alert and vigilant as your first bandit disciple. Doing.
I think he's going to stealth so we can stay hidden. Probably move up into more advantageous flanking position because
So
he hasn't been given the permission to attack yet.
currently, you are in stealth. So you start your turn in
Okay.
stealth. Um, and if you break stealth, if you move, then you will have to make another check. And there is someone there who is actively looking around for you or for something.
Right. So the best way to avoid him would probably be to circle around this way into the dark, staying in the dark to get over there. Because he looking this way, Skewer looking that way.
Skewer was looking this way, but he didn't see anything, and so he drew his pike and he's just casting a general gaze rather than a very proper one. General gaze, trying to see.
Yeah, because it's 80 foot is the problem. So kind of out of range to hit. So that's what I was saying. Move to get into a position that can
Yeah,
actually
maybe
attack.
beside the scout here or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I want to stay out of the circle of the torch, the campfire light, right?
For sure, yeah. And you know that most creatures don't have dark vision. In fact,
Right.
you don't have dark vision. So
Right. Speed is 25. That's what I figured. So yeah, 25 gets you there. And then since he moved, Skewer immediately see him, or does they have to roll a perception
no,
stealth, or how does that work?
so there's a few things that contribute to that. So Skewer is looking about, but at the moment he's in darkness. The Bandit Disciple
Yeah.
is in darkness, not just low light. So Skewer doesn't have dark vision. So he
Okay.
might have heard him. So if you roll a stealth to see if he can go unheard, then he's not going to be revealed.
That makes sense. I want to make sure we do this right. That's why I'm asking.
So
Where is
probably at the
stealth?
end of his movement, like not just one movement, like so he can do a few,
Okay. Yeah, he'd do one more move.
and then do it. Yeah, because I think he wants maybe to be closer to.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, he's staying up there behind the tree, keeping that between him and the other and the party.
Yeah, and then he can roll stealth or make an attack.
He wants to stay in stealth because he hasn't been given the attack command. And I think that they're being cultists, right? They are obedient. They're not
Yeah,
barbarians charging into attack.
the leader said we're gonna scope these guys out and see if they're gonna be
Right.
easy pickings, fellas.
So there's the stealth. How does Skewer do? Does he hear which direction they are?
Um, I don't think so. He does have +6, but that guy's at a fair distance. And he doesn't have precise. He might hear something furtive in the area, but he doesn't know that there's absolutely an enemy there at this stage. Thurball, you see that Skewer has moved. You don't notice anything else right now. Skewer has his
Now,
weapon drawn,
Thurbold has low light.
right?
Thurbold is going to go ahead and draw his short bow. Skewer, where did you hear the things so I know where to look?
I just looked here and there was nothing there, so maybe further into the tree line, maybe that way. And he points, but I can't be
Very
sure.
good. Should I go straight there, or should I think I should go into the shadows? Yes?
Maybe keep to the tree line.
Yes, that was what I think. We go into the shadows, friend. Embrace the darkness.
Good evening, friend. See ya.
25. So he's going to move here, and as he goes behind the tree, he's going to try to go stealth.
Right?
Whoosh, vanish. But we'll see if how well he does.
Yeah,
Because that's one of the things he wants to do is not be seen.
that's an excellent check. He blends into the shadows
22.
rather well. All right, and the bandit scout. I'm taking control of the scout. He's the leader in this position. He sees that the camp is beginning to respond to their attack, but not everyone has acted yet. And he has the sneak attack feature. There are two that have not acted yet. Now, he doesn't have the surprise attack feature, but Marigold is. I'm going to say that Marigold is prone because she hasn't gotten up yet. She hasn't had time. In a narrate, Marigold is prone.
Mhm.
What do you think about Peter? I think Peter might have been up and about already helping and doing stuff.
Peter was probably feeding fire and trying to help with camp.
So we won't say that he is prone. So the bandit scout sees Marigold prone. Thinks that this is a great opportunity. Little old lady.
Peter is big target.
So what actually I'm gonna do, I think
Yeah,
he's
I
gonna
think
move
Peter was
forward.
probably about to sit down, and I think Marigold's probably sitting, like working on making dinner while the others were dealing with the other stuff. I kind of was thinking Theribold was finishing up, putting stuff in the tent and trying to get the tent set up. And Skewer would be either doing that or bringing Marigold some food to, cook up.
Yeah. I'm actually going to. He sees a little old lady and he sees a big old guy. I think he's gonna try and attack the big old guy. He doesn't think that the
Well.
little old lady is a threat.
But Peter is threat because he's
Damn right.
big.
And so he is going to toss an alchemist's fire at Peter. Just like this. Oh.
That's a hit.
And so the bomb explodes. So Peter takes all of that, both instances.
Well,
Luckily, it wasn't an exceptionally good damage roll.
yeah, but still persistent fire damage on top of taking 3 fire damage.
And because there's a fire there, I'm going to rule a little bit differently. And I'm going to say, because there's a fire there, that Marigold is going to take splash damage. Oops. That Marigold is going to take splash damage.
Kind of the fire
Visa.
sparks up in her face when it hits.
Yeah, I think
Ah!
so. I think that makes sense. Visa is going to be up. So, a thing? She goes like, ow! Alright, I think that's good. So, and then, his third action, the Bandit Scout is going to go back behind the tree. Now, he can't stealth in this time.
Yep.
Because he's moved, he's thrown, and then he's moved back. But he is behind the trunk for the purposes of targeting, so he is in cover. Okay. And we have Peter.
So Peter's going to do that. Now I have a question. Should that or should that not smother the fire?
Should it not? It shouldn't smother the fire, the explosion.
Okay. Since he had fire on him, I didn't know if coating himself with earth logically could potentially smother fire.
Yeah. No. Does not do that. But it's a cool idea. Now, before that happens, this has the impulse trait, which means you cannot do that first, DM.
Oh, right. He has to do elements first. So that first.
Channel elements first. Yes, exactly.
And
So
then.
we are learning. So again, Kineticist is fairly new. Diemnyx hasn't played one before. How kineticists work, folks at home, is that they channel elements. They gather elements from around them in order to power their abilities. And when they do, and here is an opportunity for you to Diemnyx to describe this aura around Peter. This what is this wind? Is this earth? Is this dust? How does this look as elements swirl around him?
It almost looks like he went back into the dusty workshop and there's motes of like little flecks of stone, like gray stone or marble floating in the air, as well as small flecks of steel or iron floating in the air.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a dust cloud. Just
So we've taken an action to channel elements.
mm-hmm.
You now have an aura around you. So what you need to do is drag that effect over yourself,
Yep.
please.
The kinetic aura is
There,
on.
right? There it is. Kinetic
Yes.
aura, unlimited duration, perfect. And then
And
you can
then
armor in earth to.
right.
Now, have you
Which that
actually?
doesn't have an effect, so I'm building that armor right now. I don't know how you'd recommend doing it. You mentioned making an item, so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, the best way is to make it.
But I wanted to know if you wanted to take a look at it when I'm done and see if you're good with it or if you think it should be done differently.
I will have a look as well once you. Unless you want me to do it while you take your third action, I don't mind.
It's up to you. If you want to do that, you can. Well, I get the action done. That's fine if you want to do that.
Okay. So.
And so he can see that guy, and that guy just hurt him.
Bones armor. AC bonus of 4. Medium armor, but uses your highest armor.
I like that better.
Dex
So we're
cap
going to do that.
1.
So he is going to then like scream and like reach out at the guy. No earth marigold. And like metal shards are going to fly out of his hand and just shred towards the bandit scout.
Okay.
Target, wait, out of range. What's the range on that? I thought it was. It's 60 foot. Oh, metal's 30. Sorry, I thought it was 60 foot. Okay, it's 30 foot, not 60 foot. I thought it was 60 foot. That's why you got to pay attention to your stuff, chat.
Alright, he is now 18 armor class.
Cool. Thank you for help on that. So yeah,
course.
instead he's going to go charging towards that guy
And keep in mind,
at his
because that has a 10 penalty, have gone down to 20 foot because
20.
5 of it will take.
Oh, I didn't see that it had the 10 penalty. Okay. He's going to go stomping towards the guy. Not nice hurting people. You'll pay. And he just has like the earth just like crawls up him. Think of like a black ooze or something like in, like horror movies, they sometimes have like a black ooze creep up people, right? Well, instead, it's like the earth just crawls up him and like clings on to him.
Yep.
And he's walking with earth just coating him.
And you need to roll that recovery check at the turn, please, that
Yep.
just popped
Take
up.
the damage and take the recovery check. And hopefully we make
It's
it.
still
Because
burning.
he really should do it. Nope. He should have put it out, but he's concept is he has to protect, so he moved up.
All right. And you've got a bandit disciple to do as well. So your leader has started fighting, which means that you need to as well.
Oh yeah. 60 foot. Skewers in range without moving. And
Sweet.
I'm currently stealthed.
Yeah. So what I'll do before anything
logically
is I will make Skewer off guard to you. You are stealthed.
Yep. And so he is going to fire his hand crossbow at Skewer.
Nice shot.
And he's going to hit.
Oh, that hurts. That really hurts.
Duck the pig. And he's
Thunk!
going to reload and go back into stealth.
Shocking.
Right?
Ow. Not bad, not bad.
So reload and hide in the brush.
All right. Marigold will stand. Shocking. She will command as an action Visa to take 2 actions. Visa will fly. And fly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on this side of that square DM. And what this represents is Visa can see down. At the moment, he hasn't sought, so can't actually identify, but is right above. So he's too high, but it's just a raven, right? So there's just a raven above in the tree. Still technically...
What's the raven doing in the tree?
Yeah,
that's weird.
Just flew there. And then... And everything's hidden at the moment, right? Nothing... Oh, no, he's not hidden. He's just in cover.
He's not. The other two are.
So, given that, let's have a look and see what we can do here. That's also... She's going to need to get closer. So, she is going to move...
we really positioned him bad.
No. This is good. Like, that's what they would do, DM.
Oh, I know. I'm joking. that was like player's perspective, right? Is the DM put them in the worst spot. It's like, well, it's where they would be.
She moves. She can't really do anything else just yet. She moves away from the
We'll
fire.
complain about the DM after the stream, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We will both complain about it. Horribly be. How dare they? Skewer.
Those GMs are just so mean.
We got thonked by an arrow bolt. Now, this is something that we haven't seen yet. Skewer starts to move, and have a look at this, DM. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 30 feet of movement speed, thanks to.
Because he's speedy.
And then he's gonna move. He knows where that came from. So he's gonna move off into the trees.
Boom.
Now, that guy is still technically hiding, but Skewer is right there. And being that he's right there, he can see him. Because he's right there.
Yep.
And so, Skewer's trying to find him.
Flavor-wise, Skewer's just going over there looking for him and runs into him, and they both bump into each other. The whole bump.
And then Skewer raises his boarding pike and tries to whack this disciple with his breaching pike. So,
the frost will consume you, mutant!
With only a roll of 8, when we have +9 to our attack.
You are a... Yeah, I think Peter only has +8.
Oh, maximum damage!
Ooh.
That guy's gonna feel that tomorrow. So, bloop.
Do you like the effect?
Yeah, he's splattered.
Yeah, there's actually a splatter effect when you hit him.
So, Skewer, what he does is he thrusts through this guy and he hoists him up on his boarding pike and he waves him around. He's like, "This is gonna pay you!"
This is why I'm called Skewer.
That's his turn. Bandit Disciple next.
It's a good turn. So this guy, not seeing his friend get absolutely skewered,
yeah,
true to the Thurbold, because Thurbold ducked into the shadows. He's like, "Oh, the cat ran off." So now we just have the big guy and the old lady. Has to move up to hit either one.
Oh yeah.
Nope. Big guy's within range. So he's like, "Oh, I think the big guy's within range. Let me shoot the big guy." "Hey, boss, I got the big guy for you."
No, you don't.
"See, I got him, boss." He's going to reload and hide since he's in darkness.
Okay, yeah.
Now, there is a problem. Now that he's shown himself, Peter can see him. And Peter can see him.
He just got dark vision?
Peter has dark vision.
That's a good
Minotaurs
check.
have dark vision.
But it's not going to help because he is in direct line of sight.
I was going to say, the only reason it doesn't help is because dark vision, direct line of sight.
But he is
if it wasn't for
definitely
that
hidden from everyone else.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Thurbold has low light, not dark. So Thurbold can see some,
But he,
but he
yeah.
can't see this guy. He can see this guy. So that guy is going to have to get behind the tree from him to be able to hide.
And it is
Which we
Thurbol's
probably didn't.
turn.
Yep. So Thurbold saw the arrow come out, but he can't see that guy because it's dark. He can, however, see this guy. So since that guy's there and
That
he's
guy is in
within
cover.
65, his
And in
cover,
cover.
he didn't take cover, so does that do anything for him?
He is in cover because he's behind the tree in comparison to Thurbold. He's on the other side of the tree.
Okay. So he's still a little out. He should move.
I had the
So
tabletops.
Thurbold's going to move up behind the tree. What does the in cover do for him? Because he's also
So
off
if
guard.
Thurbold comes like here, he won't be in
Yeah.
cover. You know what I mean? So it's just the
Yeah.
perspective that we're in. So yeah, if he,
Well, what does the in cover do for him?
it
Like,
just
can
gives
he still be
him.
targeted?
Yeah, he can absolutely be targeted. It's just a bonus to armor class.
So it's okay because he's also should be off guard because Thurbold hid
Yes, he
with
is
stealth
off
last time.
guard. Yeah,
So
I'll set him as off guard.
he should be cover and off guard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's go ahead with that because I think that's what he would do is hide behind the tree and try to snipe out at him.
Okay. Oh, that's gonna hit. Sure. Easily. Ow! Jeez. That's pinpoint accuracy there, sir. Blah.
All right. So Marigold sees that guy just go down, and then Thurbold's going to hide again.
Oh, this ain't going well for the enemy.
No, it's not. Thurbold probably didn't hide, but that was his third action.
All right.
So
Bandit Scout.
dead guy, right? So he's dead. So
He
it
is
goes to the
dead.
next turn. So he's up. He only has 30-foot range. So he needs to get to there. So do I have range there? Not quite. He just walks straight towards the guy. You have injured Grandma Marigold. Your lives are forfeit. Metal shards bounce all over this guy as he was not expecting to be seen. But since he was crouched, trying to hide, metal shards just rip and shred all of the vegetation around him.
And you need to make that check again.
Yep, because I really need to do
There
the
you go.
other.
He finally stops the fire.
Oh, he does take that one damage, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Yeah. Marigold.
He needs to be smarter and put it out, but he's concerned with protection.
1, 2. You don't have light over.
Nope.
1, 2.
That's why I like that it shows that you can't see in the dark. Like it shows the white figure so that you know it's out of light range. I do like that. Like, I love the effects that they've done to help.
You know what? She can't see in there, so I'm not sure that she would go up there. She sees Peter though, right?
Yeah, Peter obviously flung metal shards at something and ripped up
What she's
a
gonna
bunch of
do,
vegetation.
she's gonna move twice. She's gonna target Peter, and she's gonna make a medicine check because I have
Ooh,
battle
battle
medicine.
medicine. Non-magical healing. Who'da thunk it? Thurbold does not have claws, actually. He trims them so they're very neat and nice and tidy, but that also means that he can't claw with them.
All right, so Marigold will attempt to dress Peter's wounds in the midst of battle. This is not something that she has done an awful lot. Most of her training is just, patient trying to give birth or, lying down in an efficient manner. And so she's a little bit perturbed and doesn't quite make it, unfortunately. Peter sees that she's trying, but with a 14, we are
It's
1 point
Mary
away.
World. I will squash the peanut and then we return to campfire.
And then Skewer is going to move. So we're going to go 60 feet. That's 2 movements. All the way over here. And then we're going to go another 30 feet to here. All the while carrying on his bike the body of the other guy and just being like,
Roll intimidation
okay.
against that guy. Basically, do a demoralize on the bandit disciple.
Not something that we're good at, but okay.
Nope.
Do it. Boom.
It fits thematically. It fits the story. So I'm like, let's do it.
There you go.
Cool.
All right, that is his turn. Just runs 90 feet.
That's great.
And then
All
the
right.
bandit disciple. I think, even if he's not necessarily intimidated, all of his companions are dead, and he has to report back because he's the last one.
Oh yeah. No, I don't know. He's going to run either way. It's just whether he runs screaming or he does a tactical withdrawal.
I think he's
Right?
tactical withdrawal right now. You can make a check for him if
Exactly.
you like.
That's the whole point of the intimidation was, does he run like a little girl screaming off into the woods and have a chance to, snap his neck or something as he flees? Or is he doing a skillful tactical withdrawal? At this point, it's skillful tactical withdrawal.
Thanks, King J. Have a good sleep, buddy. Yes. And the bandit disciple slinks off into the
So
darkness.
he's booking it out of there. He's like, I'm out. Good night, King J.
Well, seems like the ones that came
The
to
last
attack
one went
us are
running.
gone.
Yes, he ran away. Do you not see him, little one? He's right there. He's running through the woods. Whoop! He bounced off a tree. He really should watch where he's walking. Trees are not gentle on flesh. So technically, ORED gives you low light vision or dark vision if you have low light. But Minotaurs have dark vision to begin with.
Cool. I don't believe
So he has
I
dark
have...
vision plus enhanced dark vision, except that doesn't work.
I don't believe I have any special sensors at this stage.
Low light and imprecise sense on Visa, but other than that, yeah.
Oh, and I've got a bunch of unallocated languages. Need to allocate some languages later.
Yep, we do. I figured we'd take care of that later when it becomes important of what languages they would have known. We'll retroactively assign them because, yes, that actually is what she would do or he would do, sort of thing, right?
So are you saying that they're all gone, Peter? You say that one's running away? Are we safe?
Yes, yes. I don't see any more, so that was the last one I know of. Oh,
Well,
he just tripped. He just tripped over a branch. Oh, he's up and running again. Do you not see him?
no.
Now, I will say, Peter doesn't know he has dark vision per se, right? He's just used to seeing. He works in the dark forge. Doesn't matter. He works in the darkness. He doesn't care. So he doesn't understand that others don't see that way.
These eyes have been on this earth for 77 years. If I was as young and spry as you, I might be able to see it.
Understandable. I did not know you could not see there. I'm just surprised. I'm not familiar with people not being able to see. I thought everyone could see.
I'll have Visa in the trees, just keeping watch. Since we've been attacked tonight,
Probably a good idea.
well, I think it's about time that we cooked a hearty meal.
That sounds good. Would I do not know how to cook. Thurbold, do you know how to cook? Do I look like I cook? I do not do the cooking. I do the eating. I believe Marigold has said she know how to cook.
Ow, that's a critical success for
Oh,
the hearty meal.
Marigold knows how to cook.
Oh, yeah. So, I can't remember what the
Nice.
effects are, but that's a delicious hearty meal. She's going to peel some taters. There's going to be some coney, some cooked coney. Caught some rabbit earlier. So, roast that over the fire. Found some wild onions, garlic. Mm.
This is delicious, Marigold. I thank you greatly. I really appreciate good meal. Critical success. It's a DC 14 cooking lore.
Yep, got 26.
14, 26. 26 is critical success. If you had used survival, which is DC 16, you still would have critically succeeded. The meal grants the eater +1 status bonus to the next 3 saving throws they attempt within
Ooh,
the next 24 hours.
that's excellent. So is that draggable? Are you able to drag that effect?
I found it on archives for now.
Okay.
I did it quickly there, and then I'll look here. I was trying to find it. I knew I could find it there.
Well, we can look at that in a minute. We're gonna have a 5 minute break, everybody. It's that time of the session to do so. So we're gonna pop over to our be right back screens. We're gonna be a few minutes. Please take this chance to stretch your legs, stretch your body, give yourself a little bit of a shake, some water and food,
Shake it out, chat.
and we will be back in a few minutes with the second half. Hope you enjoy, and we'll catch you in a few minutes.
Back in just a Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back for the continuation of our session this evening with Mr. Matt and the Hat, our lovely crew.
No. So, so that those at home know, we have a tab over here, which is called the party, and we have in here all of our characters, and we have a stash of items that that will be growing over time. And in our stash, we have all of the things that we looted from people, hardened crossbows, scimitars, short bows, that sort of stuff. And these will be sold. And what we're saying is we're representing that these are on a draft horse, and not on any bus. Yeah, and we'll be able to sell some of that stuff when we get to a safe location with a trader.
Indeed.
We have a delicious meal thanks to Marigold.
A very hearty meal. Our
And
bellies are full. Have you seen the camping and cooking meal on Dragon's Dogma 2?
yeah,
I kind of get the feeling of that, right? Like, she makes this awesome meal, and we're just like, oof, that was good. I don't think we can travel anymore until we rest.
yeah, you need at least 8 hours to have that. Yeah, no. So, as a benefit to critically succeeding on that meal, all of our characters, including Visa over here, have +1 on 3 saving throws that they're going to make in the next 24 hours. So I guess we want to have them make saving throws in the next 24 hours, DM. And there might be a sense of foreshadowing.
I think, based on what we said about a weather encounter being next, it would make sense to do so.
All right.
As they're finishing their meal, the weather turns to ice cold rain, dripping down on them. So I think it would work to do a fortitude save to see if they're able to sleep comfortably through the night as this cold ice wind blows through, cutting into them unexpectedly
All
with
right.
driving cold winds. What do you think?
That sounds good to me.
Because that is a suitable encounter for them for where they're at and everything.
Are we just going to make this a single saving throw, or do you want me to find a hazard that makes sense for a blizzard?
I'm good with either one. I think doing the hazard is great. I didn't know a good way to pull those or do them, so I am open to that
Okay.
as well.
So
But I take your advice on this as well.
the beautiful thing of Pathfinder dashboard, thank you, Ashley, who has spent countless hours making this. The beautiful thing about that is we can type in hazard, and it has all of the hazards.
I forgot about that. That was one of the things I meant to have up for this.
And so I can just scroll through here to see if there's something that might make sense. Something like collapsing ice, perhaps. Something like an ice slick, perhaps. Um, snowfall. Snowfall sounds right.
Snowfall sounds quite accurate.
Although this is like built up snow. Particular one. We have things like
Okay,
sodden
so it's an avalanche more
floors.
so than that.
We have unstable
Um,
ice. I think the next day, unstable ice might be a good one because it's like the effect of
the
having
ground is
ground.
slick and
So we'll
yeah.
use unstable ice for the next day. I'm just going to pop that into the picker here. And then I don't think that there's going to be anything that's particularly good for overnight. So what we're gonna do is, yeah, we'll just make some fortitude saves at this stage and see how we're fending off. Obviously, we have our cold weather gear, which is helping us. Gonna each make a fortitude save. We're gonna just do this on the standard DC for our level, I think, unless you want to make this particularly difficult, DM. What do you think?
Quickly reading this, she has an improvised simple hazard.
He does, yeah.
Disable DC 17. So I think a 17 fort would work.
So that's not how disabling works. So that would be
Oh,
too
okay.
high.
So that's not how it works. Okay. That's too hard. I didn't
So
know.
so
Thank
the
you.
uh, yeah. Um,
So what's would you
DC
say the DC is
19.
then?
Yeah, look, 17's probably
15?
okay. 15 to 17. If you want this to be an especially bad storm, 17's fine.
We can do 15. That's fine.
Okay.
I wasn't totally sure because I haven't had your level of experience as of yet. I am still working on growing to that
Well,
level.
let's call it the middle. Let's call it 16. Okay, call it the middle.
Okay.
We're going to roll
Fort
for.
save.
Peter just makes it.
Yeah, and he has really good save.
Marigold doesn't. Skewer does.
They're bold.
No,
Got
Skewer just got
15.
10 in total.
Skewer
What I
gets a
roll?
10.
Yeah, he rolled a 3, so he doesn't.
Oof.
Thurble doesn't. Most of us are going to be cold tonight.
Mm-hmm. So I think what that means is we wind up getting a late start probably because everyone's still tired and kind of trying to sleep in, and it's harder to get up and going because you're tired, right?
Yep.
So maybe a later start to the day or
And we're just going to make us
fatigue. What would you
fatigued.
say?
Yep.
Okay.
Just going to be fatigued. It's awful,
Oh,
by the way.
you know what we forgot?
A hearty meal.
I think we forgot the hearty meal mod on that.
That's +1, so Thurble will succeed.
Okay.
The rest won't. Thanks to the +1.
Yeah. So the hearty meal paid off.
Did. So, yes, Skewer and Marigold wake up fatigued, and we can all see that the ground is covered in rather awkward amount of slippery, unstable ice. And potentially
This looks problematic. The ground looks slick.
oh, can I do something? So we
Can
all
you?
wake up. Can I do something?
Yeah.
Okay. Wake up, Skewer and Marigold are really not doing so hot. They're fatigued. And we hear, as we're gathering around the fire, warming our bodies, eating the remainder of our meals from last night, and filling up for and packing our bags, a eerie, um, an eerie wailing is borne upon the icy winds this morning. Seems to be a voice or voices on the winds that are eerie.
That is a disturbing noise. Yes, I do not think we want to trouble with such things. Skewer, do you hear the creepy voices?
He says, "Oh, I can hear all right. I've heard all manner of strange monsters in my training down near Briarbridge, but not sure I recognise what that is."
Marigold, do you know what this noise is? Have you heard what this is?
She is going to attempt a recall knowledge check. She is maybe going to try nature here. Weird, but potentially it could be in nature. Otherwise, it might be occultism. She suggests that it could be either something that's natural, but could be something that's a bit
So,
strange.
I was going to say, I think Thurbold's going to rack his brain on occultism. Is there any strange spirits or spooks he knows of?
Ooh.
Well, he's talking with Marigold.
Yeah, Marigold can't put her finger on anything that would be natural or these voices like this. And as Thurbold thinks back, he does come upon uh, perhaps a disturbing discovery. He feels that there might be a spirit that has been called up by these cultists, born upon the icy winds, and he believes, based on what he remembers, perhaps he's come across this before, or perhaps some travelers from across the seas, or that landed here, or embarked from his city, told him about this. Is that these spirits can continually call storm uh, upon uh, those that would oppose them. And he suggests that if those spirits are not calmed, that we might have some debris, some storm that will rack up some debris and like uh, slam or scatter into our bodies and cause physical harm. You are muted.
I believe the creatures this might be could be part of the storm last night, and if we do not deal with it, it may cause us to have greater problems and have ice shards or something, into our bodies, and that does not sound fun. I think we need to investigate and rectify the situation.
He believes that there could be a number of potential possibilities to stave off these effects. He says that potentially someone might be able to convince the spirits on the wind to stop uh, harrowing us. He says that we could erect a wooden, um, effectively like a wooden or stone shield that we might be able to carry with us, or especially with the abilities that our Peter has, that we might be able to block the wind using something like that, maybe athletics to erect like a barrier, or
Mhm.
potentially using religious speak to calm and otherwise redirect the spirits and make them calmer. It's kind of what he suggests
Okay.
might be of assistance. He says he doesn't think that a single check, single thing is going to be enough, and that probably a number of these
Right.
things are going to be necessary in order to calm these down. And indeed, as this is going, I am going to have us. Could you please? Actually, I can do it. Create an encounter because this
Yeah.
is an initiative situation where we get to take turns to sort this out, and I'm going to populate this for us so that you can control it if you like, or we'll out. Populate this one. Feel like that this was a good opportunity
Oh
for
yeah.
this.
Absolutely.
Uh, uh, there we go. Nice. Roll initiative for your folks, and we'll take turns to see what we can do here. Now, in this version, what I'm going to recommend as well, given that we only have the two of us and we don't want to, we do have two characters each, but we're also,
Mhm.
trying to build a world primarily.
Right.
Where I suggest when it comes to hazards, at least in this one, that we do a homebrew version, which will be that potential damage and accuracy of hazards will go down a little bit, but it will take longer to disable them, which gives them more narrative clout, gives them a more
Yeah.
interesting thing, but doesn't instantly just knock people out like certain
Right.
characters might have experienced last time on Kingmaker.
I don't know what you mean.
Marigold, hearing
Yes.
Thurbol's suggestions, is going to attempt religion to see if she can
Let's just say
calm the spirits.
Thurble doesn't have religion. That's one of the few things he doesn't have. The
Oh,
only skills he doesn't have are religion and
so
athletics.
what she does is she pulls out her bag of magical reagents and other materials, and she pulls out some feathers and she places them in a pattern on the ground. She spits into the ground and she puts her fingers into the mud and she starts to weasel around in there, and then she splits an acorn and a little bit of milk pours out and she mixes the milk. And then she calls over Peter and says, "Can he light a fire for her and like a little stick and place it on?" And so the fire comes down and lights it up, and we have one success towards a certain number um, to calm these spirits down. She spends her whole turn doing that. Peter.
Peter can do athletics. What did you say else we need?
So you can see it. Yeah. Diplomacy, athletics, or religion is what it suggests.
Diplomacy. Interesting. Oh, I see that now. Probably athletics for Peter, because
These are spirits that are called upon
yeah,
the wind.
Peter's not known for his charismatic capability, more his physique.
Right, let's see if he can
Um,
erect some sort of
so unless otherwise
barrier.
asked, he's probably going to do athletics to try to put a barrier up to defend us, build a windscreen, as it were.
Yeah. And I think it makes sense. I
If
mean, Pathfinder doesn't determine this, but I think it makes sense that when we're talking about hazards and things like that, that we get like one thing that we sort of.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So what
Yeah,
does
he
this
got it.
barrier look like?
So he actually finds some stone
Mhm.
and uses his base kinesis and just has the metal and stone just like grow up and build a barricade in front of us.
Okay. Well, given that we're making it a little bit more, like it's a little bit harder, like longer to disable, we are going to have all of our characters make this reflex save. We're going to reduce the
Okay.
damage if we fail a little bit to reflect what we've already said. So we're going to do this for each of our characters. Roll for Marigold. Fail. Skewer. We get a +1 to the.
Yep. I forgot that. Good call. This is number 2.
Hmm?
Peter and Marigold still fail. +1.
Oh, Skewer, what are you doing? I mean, I might use my hero point for that.
You'd be at 7, but since you rolled a nat 1, it's still crit fail.
So I'm going to use my hero point and get that re-rolled.
That would, yeah.
Well,
Probably not a
whoops.
bad option right now.
Either way, success there.
Hey.
Because we roll. Well, okay, so we've got Double with a success, Peter and Marigold with a fail. So what we're going to
Oh,
do.
before we do that, you know what we forgot to do? Should any of them have a long rest for healing?
Yes, we should have done that for everyone. Before
And
we
we forgot.
take damage. Have we taken damage? No.
No, we're about to. That's why I just thought of it. And it was like, wait a
Yes, we
minute.
should rest before anything happens. Good call. So, fully rest.
Because we would have healed some. So that's why I wanted to say it. I was like,
But she is still fatigued.
right.
And Skewer. Also gonna get a full rest and then fatigued.
Now, question for you.
Yeah.
Would you or would you not allow Peter to take the damage for Marigold? Because if he's allowed to, he would. That's just how he is.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? We are gonna do just a single D4.
So he just jumps on top of her, protecting her from
So that'll
the
be for
stuff. Skewer
you.
took it?
Well, he's taking.
Yeah,
Oh, he's sorry.
Skewer passed.
That's Marigold and Peter. Yeah, so Peter can
Yeah.
take
Peter will take double
2
damage
damage. Yeah, 2 lots of.
because he blocked her from taking it
Okay, awesome.
as the debris pelts into his body. I got you covered, Marigold.
And
I
again,
keep you
like
safe.
spirits are attacking and wailing and harrowing us with what is technically bludgeoning damage in the form of um, of rocks and detritus that is borne upon the storm. And we have Skewer to act next to see if he can do anything to fend off these spirits. Not really skilled in a lot of those areas. Gonna see if he can reinforce that barrier, I guess. I think he
Okay.
is not really. Other things are not really
I'm going to skewer's turn. We hadn't actually began it. Here we go.
Gonna roll. It's a 16. He just passes. So he walks up to Peter and he starts to spread his hands out and assist Peter with the assembly of this barrier. Now, normally it takes 2 checks to overcome this. We have done 3. We've had 3 successes. We think 3 is enough.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I could see that being enough. Do we want to see if he does the 4th one?
Yeah, let's
Just to let
see.
them all
Let's see how
try.
Thurbal acts now. Let's say,
Thuribold would do diplomacy.
yeah, we want to.
Great spirits, please do not bother us anymore. We are just simple travelers seeking to traverse your lands. We will not stay and hamper your places.
And we'll see how this goes.
We can play cards.
We can play cards.
So yeah, that's probably what
Brilliant.
Thuribold would do.
Right, so make that check for us.
Just you know, you need to talk to them nicely.
14. We've already had 3 successes. I think that it makes sense that maybe the DC would go down at least. And
Mhm.
so we're going to narrate
I trust your judgment, friend.
that after all of these attempts, the spirits are starting to calm down. They're not fully gone. And with that, we are going to go over to Marigold. Sees that things are still a little not right. I'm gonna try continue her ritual here.
You know what I find interesting? You remember the enhanced version of rituals I mentioned to you, right?
Yeah.
This is actually not far from one that is in that game.
Nice. She is
So the
going
flavor fits
to
perfectly.
gather all Thurbal. She's going to pull him down. She says, "You need to sit with me. Um, the others are busy with that barrier and protecting us. If you could help me out here," and
Of
instructs
course. Of course.
him
What do you need me to
in.
do?
She pulls out a strange branch, and there seems to be some sort of material that is like all along the edge of this. And she says, you need to be careful, Thurbal, but what you need to do is you need to place this into the flame, and it will sort of ignite a little bit. You need to wave the. It's like a scent, an incense, and you need to wave it in the air.
Okay, I can try that.
Doesn't require a check. Just skin of this thing,
Mm-hmm.
and so he follows the directions. And given that this is a successful check under Marigold's thing, he waves the stick. Incense starts to surround the campfire. You can all smell this scent, and I think in this moment, what do we like? Camphor or something? Something interesting might be born upon the wind. Don't have to agree with whatever, but an interesting scent is born upon the wind.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon. Sure. Scent of
Because it's an
cinnamon
odd choice, but it works.
starts
Maybe
to,
cinnamon and sage.
yeah, to permeate, and the spirits start to dissipate little by little. The wind dies down till silence, and the fog begins to clear.
I am glad that is over. I did not like that. I much rather, you know, the meal and the sleep than the storms and the winds and the debris. I do not like having my fur scratched and messed up like that. Now I need to spend time cleaning again. It is not very nice.
It does
Oh, I don't.
suggest that those that were harrowing us uh, at our campsite last night, that they have not finished whatever task it is that they are trying to perform. It seems like something is ongoing. They may have some greater purpose in play here. They call upon the spirits of the land to do their bidding, the spirits of the storm. I'm not sure about you, dearie, but this seems a little disturbing and perhaps warrants an investigation. I know we have a task, and we need to get there soon so that we can determine if these people are okay.
I do agree. We need to make sure people are okay, but if these are having problems, then maybe they are reason that the friends not show up. Yes.
Yes, dearie, it does seem like it. We do need to keep our eyes and ears open, and if we see more of them, obviously they might have a camp nearby. We should perhaps see if we can root them out.
Yes.
Well, if you can root them out, I can cheer you on from back here.
Would you mind binding my cut? It is not feeling very good. The scratches dug deep in my flesh.
Of course, dearie. We'll attempt another medicine check. Ugh. We're gonna need to try again. We're gonna take some time. There we go. It takes
There we
20
go.
minutes instead of 10 to start to bind Peter's wounds.
It's almost like she's not used to large beings or
Right.
beings that have more stone than flesh.
And we're going to roll.
I like that picture of Peter though, because he like has this like smirk on his face. He looks intimidating and scary and massive, and he's just like grinning.
But when we finally succeed, that's actually pretty decent. And she binds your wounds and 11
Yes.
points of healing as you begin to feel a good deal better.
Thank you, Marigold. I feel much better now.
Okay.
All right. Skewer's the other one who's a little wounded still. Do we want to have someone do medicine on him?
We'll try one more so that it's half an hour. If she succeeds at it,
Well, I
we'll
was going to say
try it.
Thurbold could
Okay.
treat.
Yeah.
He's not as good at it, but he could try to treat Skewer during that 20
Yeah, why
minutes.
not? Why not? Give that a try. I mean, we have plenty of healers kits. Oh.
Nope. And for the second part of the 20 minutes.
Ugh.
Nope.
All right. So
Not a critical fail, but fail.
you've tried. Skewer says, "Oh, it'll be
Very
all
good.
right. It'll be all right. We'll
I'm
be
not
fine.
as good as this Jew. Are you sure?
We need to
I could.
we need to hit the road, methinks, and I can chew on some of my some of the beautiful feasts we had last night."
If you insist, I do think healing is good. Leave the man alone. He can make his choice. Unless Marigold thinks otherwise. She's the wise one here.
Marigold will sort of say, "Well, dearie, if we do come upon them, it might be that you have trouble, but we can't guarantee that one way or another. So it's your body, your choice." And there is a oh, go on then, let us heal you look in her eyes.
Oh, fine.
All right, we'll try one more. He sort of goes 10 more minutes then, and we'll allow her to make one more check. Which will, if she does not succeed, there you go.
Ooh, critical success.
That's this many. 21. Yeah, even if he was on one
Dead.
hit point or unconscious, this would get him up. This is all the healing.
Peter's the only one who has more health than that, and only by one.
So, yes, Marigold does an exceptional job here in this
Back to
time.
fleshy bits. She's more used to them.
Yes, indeed. And with us all patched up, we continue to head in a northward direction, keeping our eyes open for these cultists, see whether if we can see any camp that they might have, but otherwise continuing in a northward direction toward the town of
Onward, for winter is coming.
Sylvessa. All right. So, what do you think? We are 3 hours into session.
Decent stopping point. If we start something else, we're probably going to wind up in the middle of it. Okay. So I think this has been a good first session, if you agree.
Okay. Whatever.
I know that you need to get some other things done at times too, and I don't want to
I'm fine.
impede your ability to do others. Okay.
But don't worry about me. So like sometimes on a Friday I'll have other things, but I try to avoid other things on a Friday because we have this. Sometimes I can't avoid it, but today and most times I should be able to avoid it. Why don't we, in the last little while then, if you want, so we have some sort of idea of this map. Do we want to add or do anything else to it before?
I think that's good for now. If you want to take a snapshot of it and send it to me, I'll see if I can try to make some improvements. I'm going to try to get Liliana, not Dragon Plague tomorrow. And then I think if I can do that, I'm going to work on this and Cyberpunk for the stream instead. So I might throw in there whipping up a map for the region based off that.
So I'm thinking that these villages, or at least some villages, need to be about 15 miles away from each other. So I'm thinking, based on that, what do you think about the idea? I know it's hard to see that each of these squares is 1 mile. Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Because there's about 8 or 9 from Eolas to Firebridge, from Juniper to Firebridge. 6
Thereabouts,
or so to sort of thing. So yeah, we can obviously.
What I think what I'll do is make a map similar to that, and then look up some details on like early medieval period distance between villages and time it would take for travel, and spec out from there the distance between them that way so that it fits historically. I mean, no, we're not in our world, right?
And there
But
could
still
be small
standard
villages
travel.
anyway between them so that we can spread them
Right.
out further. These are just like the
The
primary
main
villages.
ones. Right.
So there can be others. It's not like say that
Yep.
there are more. Cool. All right. Well, we can finish
At
up,
least little hamlets.
right? Yeah. We can finish up. We really appreciate everyone coming. It sounds like this
Mhm.
is the type of thing that some of you really enjoy and get out of. We're happy about that. It's been fun for us. We've learnt some stuff. We have things to develop. Um, yeah. So if you're happy, DM.
Yeah, I think it's gone well. We're developing the world. We're having a good story with it. I mean, that's kind of what, like I talked with you, for the plan. That's kind of what I wanted, is that we build the world through play so that we can build it and discover it and lay a foundation with some characters in the world. Because a lot of settings will have characters present in them, and that's kind of what we're developing, is some of those characters that can be present for other campaigns to show up and do things.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very good.
So I like it.
All right. Well, I will see if I can find someone to raid out to.
Okay. So basically, our camera for today closes as our dear friends continue their path north, keeping an eye out for troubles as they go. But as Matt said, we appreciate each and every one of you being here. Be sure to join us next week for the continuation, and we hope you enjoyed this story.
Lollygags.
All right. Going
So
right there. What are you
it's
doing?
going to be right. Yeah, I haven't been here before, but all right, guys. Well, thank you all. Look after yourselves. Please take care. Kind to one another. And from me, Matt Nahat, as always, until next time. See you later.